Call to order the 11th regular session of City Council. Start with roll call.
Joel Althauser. Sue Fox Broker.
Present.
Lydia Miller.
Present.
Cliff Winiger.
Present.
Chad Miller.
Present.
Peg Bren.
Present.
Doris Bloom.
Present.
Robin Jones.
Here.
John Schwimmer.
Present.
Lynn Webb.
Here.
Cindy Murray.
Here.
I'd ask all that could stand, and the mayor will lead us in prayer.
Father God, we are so grateful for the works that you have done in our city. We are grateful for your guidance. We are grateful that you provide for us. Lord, forgive us when we miss the mark and we make it our own. May we continue to be obedient to what you ask us to do. Lord, we lift up each community member, and we know that you know their needs. Bless each and every community member in all ways, through their heart, through their finances, through their health. Lord, continue to spread your kindness throughout here and around. May we be that city on the hill that is so lit up. Lord, continue to guide us tonight in our decision making so that we may continue not to just grow, but become better. Again, thank you for all you do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so we'll move into the approval of prior minutes of previous meetings. Does anybody have any amendments that needs to be made? Hearing none, they'll stand approved. We have one citizen on the agenda tonight that's asked to address council, Brian Hattery.
You gonna come? Yep. You can come down.
I just didn't want to be rude.
Oh, no, please, I'll take the support. Good evening again. My name is Brian Hattery. I'm going to apologize for the gum. I've got a summer head cold. I'm trying to keep the throat tickle at bay. I'm here on behalf of the People's Project. We are a ballot issue committee that was formed with the goal of, really, we're a mix of citizens who really want to see Kenton improve, get better, and to succeed for every citizen. And we believe that part of that is the ability or being able to have the city structure, create its own structure of government instead of the statutory city that we have now that's dictated by state statutes. I'm here tonight on behalf of the committee to request the council draft and pass legislation to allow the charter initiative to happen one more time. Obviously, we know it happened once before and it failed, and I'll speak to that in a couple of moments. But that's my main purpose to be here. There are several members of the committee that are here also today in support. Hannah behind me is also one of them. She is my silent partner in this at the moment. We all know that this is the first step of the process, you drafting and passing the legislation and the mayor signing it to allow it to happen, to go to the ballot. Then the ballot, of course, should it pass, would just be the first step of that, to allow the committee to be formed in that first step. Then there's the creation of the charter and then the final passage. And this committee is dedicated to seeing it pass successfully through that entire process. We believe that part of the needs and what's crucial for the success of that is educating of the citizens, of the voter. And so we are now and will continue to be working on putting together some materials and proactively working to educate the citizens. A couple of recurring themes that we've heard along those lines were It's already been turned down by the voters. Why are you doing it again? Well, I did a little digging, and there are 4,000 registered voters in the city of Kenton, and only 13% of them voted no on it. And we've heard from several of them that they voted no because they really didn't understand what it was about. And so that's part of what the education efforts are going to be, is why is this needed? What does it do? What is this first vote for? And that's what part of what we hope to accomplish. And another thing we've heard along part of the education is it's just a power grab. I mean, it's all of you who want more power, because there's so much money that comes in and that you can control and all these changes, right? And that's part of the education. I mean, you all know that you're not allowed, should this initiative pass, to get the committee formed, that you're not allowed to be a part of the committee. I mean, you are citizens, so you're allowed to have your input, right? But as far as the actual creation of the charter, should this pass, you're not allowed to partake in that. So it's not a power grab by you individuals up here. It really is an initiative and a desire of the people who make up this committee to create something that can enable the city to succeed, to be a benefit to its citizens and our posterity for generations to come. That being said, we are looking for donations and volunteers. Happy to take those at any time as we try to get this all rolling. The idea is hopefully to get this on the ballot for the fall. We've got a lot of work in front of us, and we'll take all the help we can get. Now, does anyone else from the committee here want to say anything? Okay. Does anyone have any questions?
Can you touch on who can run for the committee? Can all citizens run for it, or?
Well, I mean, except the individuals up here.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
And that will be, I mean, I'm sure you, yes, that's true, registered voter. And you well know that you can set the limitations or dictate how that happens. Well, essentially the number of signatures that are needed is what I'm referring to, but they have to take out a petition with the Board of Elections, have to get the number of signatures and turn that in. And then, of course, anyone who would like to be a part of this process or have their say in it can go through that and get the signatures and get their name on the ballot to be a part of this come fall. It is not just for the individuals on the committee, it is for anyone who can do that.
Brian?
Just so we have it on record,
We
speak into the mic so that
we do
have it on the
verbatim minutes, and we like to capture it so Emma can take the minutes,
That's
okay?
quite right. I did want to compliment the whole committee getting this started for the first group of citizens that were on that got voted down. But it seemed to me they were truly from all the wards in the town. They were mixed ages, mixed sexes, and I thought it was a good advantage, a good
Cross-section.
representation of the citizens of the town.
Mr. Jones have something?
Bill, you had a comment or question?
Yeah. My name is Bill Jones. I just wanted to ask if there had been a charter in place in the past 5 to 10 years, are there any decisions that you would have made differently?
Who are you asking that to?
Anybody.
Anybody.
Well, I really think that is an impossible, I guess I will speak.
Please.
I think that would be an impossible question to answer because the charter this has not been written, that would dictate how situations were handled for the last 5 to 10 years. We don't know what our charter will be like, any charter that's written, so I don't think we couldn't answer that because we don't know what our charter will say. We don't know what that we will come up with because we have to study the process, know the laws, know the ordinances, and know what we can do. And we don't know that yet. We don't know how our charter is going to be, what's going to need to be in it, what we agree on, what we don't agree on, what our legal advice is, we don't know yet. So I don't think we could answer that question truthfully, honestly, because we don't have a charter to use in comparison. I would suspect that every charter that has been written in the state of Ohio is different. I would think, because every city will be different. You know, there's rural charters, rural cities, metropolitan areas. But even amongst rural cities, I would think that every charter would need to be different because geographic locations are different, sizes, you know, the mix of people. I just think it would, I think you would want it to be different. Stepping away.
Brian?
Yes, ma'am.
So this first go-around, what will be on the ballot? What are you asking them to?
I guess it would be to draft a legislation to enable the passage or the creation of the charter committee. I forget the exact terminology.
I can read it if you would allow me.
Please.
Basically, the language that'll appear on the ballot, and this is by the Constitution, the revised code is, shall a commission be chosen to frame a charter? And the answer is yes or no. And then there will also be where you can vote the people that have circulated the petitions and filed with the Board of Elections. So there'll be a vote on shall a commission be chosen to frame a charter, and you'll be voting on the charter commission members. That is as simple as it is. You're not voting on any of the language, and all the voters get to vote on the language.
Yep.
It will come back to the voters for a second vote. So that's why, that's the simplicity. Do you want to form a charter? The charter does their work, puts together what they think is a good plan for the government, and then you get to vote on that. That would be the acceptance of the charter, which has to be within a year.
And that's part of the education too. This vote, some people would think if they vote yes, something changes immediately. Nothing changes. It just allows us to form the committee with those who put their names in to try to come up with a plan that the citizens can then vote on again, yes or no. I will say it is the People's Project. We are a mix of citizens. I think everybody has their own reasons for being there and things that they would like to see change with the city to make it better. So it's interesting conversations, but again, the common core goal is to see things improve for the citizens of the city of Kenton.
Did you have a question back in there? I thought you raised your hand. Yeah, I thought you raised your hand.
No, sir.
Sorry, I apologize. I thought I'd seen a hand come up. Any other questions? All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
So moving on, I have two communications up here. One is the Council on Aging newsletter. If anybody's interested in that, it's available to read through. And I also have the Ohio Cooperative Living magazine that's available as well if anybody's interested in looking at those. We have no petitions on the agenda tonight, so we will move into administration reports. Chief, Sergeant?
Yeah,
Sergeant?
Sergeant Finley.
Sergeant Finley. All right, I thought so. Do you have any?
Nothing to report.
Nothing to report. Chief Johnson.
We have got a final date for the final inspection and delivery of the fire truck for the city. So that's June 29th is the day we go out for final inspection and pick it up. So me and one of the other fellow firefighter Warren are going to fly out that morning, do the final inspection, and start the long drive home. It's normal hour driving. It says 13 hours. So I know this truck can't do highway speeds and stuff, so we'll be back hopefully sometime late Tuesday afternoon, the 30th. So is my hope for that, and so So we'll have that back here and hopefully get it in service shortly thereafter. So I guess one of the things that I haven't had to bring up for a while, but I guess I do tonight, but we are having some issues with our ladder truck again. So it's kind of one of those problems where runs fine for a while, then we have a hiccup with it, then we can't replicate the hiccup, and so we're going to get with one of the service companies and see if they can do any more troubleshooting for us and stuff. So, but it's one of those things that the Assistance to Firefighter Grant application period's opening up, so we're looking at probably maybe filing for that application or applying for a new replacement ladder truck. But I know previous years priority is for replaced trucks that are actually 30 years or older. We're not there yet on this, so I don't know how high our priority will be for even getting it at this point in time, but we figure we better start the process on it, because depending on the truck manufacturer, it's anywhere from 2 years to 4 years to get a ladder truck at this point. So, so we're kind of working through it, but everything else seems to be going pretty good. I know the guys have been out painting hydrants and down in the southwest section of town, so you'll see them out and about some more. So that's all I got tonight.
Anybody have any questions for Chief? Thanks, Chief. Public Works, Cindy, you want to, got anything?
No, I just covered it when we get down to me.
All right. Economic Development, Lynn?
No, we don't have anything.
Okay. Income Tax, Auditor, Chrissy, anything? Auditor's on? Treasurer, Law Director, John? Back to you, Cindy.
Okay, so everybody knows about the Layton Street Bridge has been shut down. ODOT contracts out every year for the inspection of our bridges. So we had our bridge inspection last week. We received an email back saying that it needed to be shut immediately. We do not have the results of the inspection, but we do work with the Hardin County engineer because they know bridges much better than we do. And as soon as we get the results of the inspection back, so we know the extent of it, they are going to get some pricing on the repair. We basically have three options. One is to repair and open it back up. The second is to leave it closed until 2030 when we have grant funding from ODOT to replace the bridge. And the third option would be to request ODOT accelerate that funding so that we could get a new bridge installed and opened up at that time. So until we get the report back, we won't know for sure which is the most economical way for us to go. So the sidewalk project started today out on East Columbus Street, and the street crew will begin Durapatching in the first ward starting next week or the following week. So, and they plan on spending a month in each ward. So you can go 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's all I have.
Anybody have any questions for Cindy? All right, so we will move on to Mayor.
No, thanks.
All right, so we will move right along into the reports from committee and special committees. Start with Finance. Doris?
Finance met this afternoon at 5:30, and among other things, we discussed the budget, income tax, and how we can improve revenue to the city. Other than that, I don't have it. We meet again July 13th at 5:30 here.
All right, so Doris, it's your turn again. MOP?
That's Peg.
No,
Peg,
That's
I'm
me.
sorry.
MOP.
Sorry.
MOP has not met. We haven't had any.
I was thinking of regional planning, I apologize.
That's fine.
Public Utilities.
We meet this Wednesday at 3:30.
Streets, alleys, and sidewalks.
We did meet, when did we meet? Last Wednesday, the 27th. And I couldn't read my notes to make a thing. Cindy just gave you the Durapatch schedule. And we I know that it had been asked about removing the turn lane on Hester. We have to do a study for that before anything can be done with that. And, excuse me, Cindy brought up something that I thought was very interesting, because we do see the trucks run over our pretty new corners out here and break down stuff, but there's something that she was talking about that looks like a cast iron bell that sets on close to the thing, and if the truck actually comes up and hits it, it'll push the tires back on the road, which I thought was neat, but she's checking on those. So that's all I have. We do meet again on the 24th at 3:30.
All right. So legislation. On legislation, our last meeting, we discussed the ordinance that you'll see before you tonight. It's obviously a pretty lengthy ordinance for some of the legislation we've had in the past. It's pretty extensive. I'll let John speak on it. It's a labor of love for him, I know, so. We'll cover it once we hit the ordinance. I'll ask John to elaborate more on it. We also, we actually did discuss in legislation bringing it before council to put on a measure in our next meeting that would run for 6 weeks for charter. Legislation did recommend that it come before council, and we vote on it again as a complete council, that we put charter back on the ballot. So kind of what Brian was talking about, we discussed in legislation. Some of the things we discussed, the variance from the last time it was on the meeting, it was 25 signatures was the threshold to fill out for the Board of Elections to be considered for the commission. We've discussed lowering that to 15, making it more viable to get more people hopefully interested in feeling comfortable with getting 15 signatures. There's a dozen of us here. Somebody could bring their petition to council. We all could sign it, leaving them with 3. So that was part of some of the changes, was to make it more viable for the community to feel more at ease about putting their name in on the commission and getting the signatures they would need. So we do anticipate putting that before council on our ordinance on our 12th regular meeting. Beyond that, we will meet again on June 24th and take up some new legislation then, I suppose. Any questions on legislation? All right, Doris, now we're back to regional planning. I got ahead of us here a little bit.
Regional planning met June 4th at the sheriff's office. Chad did attend as a citizen. Anyone's welcome to attend those meetings. The next one will be August the 6th at 7 p.m. at the Hardin County Sheriff's Conference Room, if anyone's interested. Some of the things that pertain to Kenton that were on the agenda, testing the soil around where the roundabout's going to be, and that those soil tests will continue for a while. North Detroit project is not, the completion of the North Detroit project to the city limits not till 2028. Is that right, Cindy? Okay. The bid for taking down the county home was on the discussion, Hardin Hills, $1.5 million. A lot of the expense is because there's asbestos in that building. So I understand we have a grant money or state money to do that. Storm sewer project for Barone Street between Carroll and East Franklin has an appropriation of $670,000. And that's what pertained to Kenton.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I would say on regional planning, I did attend as just a citizen. I would encourage anybody in the community to attend that meeting and all these meetings, but that meeting was very informative of just the grants and stuff that the county's getting and that they're utilizing throughout our community as well as other communities in the area. I felt it was very informative, so. Parks and Rec Board.
We meet on Wednesday night. The pool is up and running. It looks great. They'll host swim champs this year, so that's a great opportunity to showcase our swimming pool and the facilities and to support our local swimmers and everybody that comes. It puts a lot of people in our town. The quarry looks really good. I drove out through there last week. The city workers are doing a great job at mowing, and Don and Deb do a great job of managing the quarry. It looks really pretty. I mean, it's peaceful and quiet back there. It's like a hidden gem back there, so it's worth a drive. And that's really all I have to report until we have our meeting on Wednesday.
Any questions for Robin? Grove Cemetery Board.
At the last meeting, I was wrong. They changed the meeting. It was not June 2nd. It is going to be June 16th. So we have, our next meeting is June 16th at 5 or 5:30. I think it's 5:30.
Shade Tree Commission.
We have a meeting June the 24th at 6 o'clock. We will have actually, I think all the trees that I see out, they look wonderful. And so far, we planted some trees in front of the library, and everything so far is good. And we will have a meeting scheduled with Stephanie Miller for July the 1st. She's in charge of the tree commission, actually, from Bell Fountain.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey, speaking on tree commission, we have an available spot to sit on the commission. And I think if you remember right, on some past legislation, we approved to be able to appoint outside the city.
Yes.
With that being said, and it being passed, then I would like to ask for your, is it approval or just to let them know? Approval, let them know that we, I asked Dave Doolin and he accepted. Dave has done a great job for our community, trimming trees, volunteering, doing that up and down our main street. So it's great having him on board.
So we'll take a vote on Dave Doolin being appointed to the tree commission.
I would move that we accept the Dave Doolin on the tree commission.
I'll second that.
Sue Fox Broker,
Yes.
Lydia Miller,
Yes.
Cliff Winiger,
Yes.
Chad Miller,
Yes.
Peg Wren,
Yes.
Joyce Bloom,
Yes.
Robin Jones.
Yes.
All right, well, I don't think we're gonna get a BK ambulance district report, seeing how Joel's not here. Do we have any old business? New business? All right, so we got two ordinances on first read tonight. One's there with an asterisk to waive the three read. The first one is the ordinance that is in your packet for the codified ordinance for chapter 1226. I'll let John elaborate more on this. Emma, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Ordinance number 26-013, an ordinance amending and restating Kenton Codified Ordinance, Chapter 1266, and repealing Codified Ordinance, Chapter 1268, relating to the General Industrial District in the Limited Industrial Commercial District in the City of Kenton.
All right, so kind of in a nutshell, and this is going to require a little homework for everybody to make sure you really read through this even after tonight's meeting, because this is just on first read. 1266 was our light manufacturing chapter of our codifieds. 1268 is the general, the more heavy industrial. And what we would be doing is combining those two districts into one section. That's why we're repealing 68. They would both be kind of codified, both of those districts, within 1266. and then 1268 would just no longer be an applicable section. But we're getting away from a lot of the kind of the really the negative stuff that we really wouldn't want in town anyway. You know, for example, in the heavy industrial, I mean, acid manufacturing, asbestos manufacturing, coal yards. I mean, it kind of goes on. There's quite a list, and we're really getting away from that. So we're not changing any of the zoning. If you are the light manufacturing now, that's where you become the limited industrial commercial district, which is more geared for business and office. The general industrial is more for manufacturing. So you can look through and see examples, characteristics that's permitted in each of those, but it does not have a lot of the kind of the nasty stuff, I would say, that was in our prior that we really wouldn't want even in the district. So the point is, if you are M2, after we change this, you would be then general industrial. And again, if you're M1, you'd be the limited industrial. They prohibit residences in both districts. However, if you live in a manufactured district now, you are still grandfathered in. You are allowed to maintain a home there. It's allowed to be sold, so you don't have to remove it. It's the same thing as when this was enacted in '66, so that will not change. But really, everyone just needs to study through this, you know, read through it. And as with anything, we may find that there's some things we need to tweak in here when it comes to application, but that's, you know, we always have the ability to change this down the road. So that's really what I have.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on it? Holly, did you have anything to add?
I would like to just speak in favor of really considering this legislation. I brought a proposal for rezoning to council previously, and council was not comfortable at that time approving that zoning request. And a part of that reason was the definitions of the M1 and M2 that this new language will replace. So I hope that this new legislation would open some pathways to new development that the old language was blocking.
And I guess one item I really would like, we had a small paragraph about this, but I would like to point everyone in the ordinance to 1266.05 subsection B, where that really elaborates on, you know, they can't create excessive noise, vibration, odor, dust, and smoke, glare, so as to commit a nuisance. And we've elaborated. We had just a couple sentences in our old one. But when we have a new business, they still have to demonstrate that they're not going to create a nuisance in the area, even if the use is permitted. If they're operating loudly, you know, and it kind of goes, not the average in street traffic noise nearest residential district. So there's kind of limitations to provide protection, again, with odor, vibration, dust, and smoke. So that provides some additional protections for residences that may be near businesses, you know, that are developing. So,
Does anybody have any questions on this? No objection, we'll move it on to second read. Obviously, it's, like I said, one of our lengthier ordinances. Give everybody a chance to read it, and if you have any questions, follow up on the second read at our next meeting. So moving on, we have an ordinance for, I'll let you read it.
The ordinance number 26-014, an ordinance providing for additional appropriations for the year 2026 for the city of Kenton, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
You want to elaborate on it? Okay.
Yeah, there's an explanation there. When there's a fire in the city, we, as the city, we receive their insurance claim checks, and then the resident cleans up, fixes up, whatever, then Chief Donnelly goes out to inspect it, and when he says that it's good to go, then he lets us know, and that we cut that corresponding amount back to the resident, and it's time to do this for this particular resident, and it was not on the original budget. That's why I needed additional appropriations. And I asked that it be passed by waiving the 3-read rule. I just didn't want to hold somebody up 6 more weeks.
I would move that we had a vote on this, passing the 3-read rule for ordinance number 26-014.
I'll second that.
Moved by Sue, seconded by Peg. Take the vote.
William Miller,
Yes.
Cliff Winiger,
Yes.
Chad Miller,
Yes.
Peg Wren,
Yes.
Doris Bloom,
Yes.
Robin Jones.
Yes.
Sue Fox Broker.
Yes.
I move that we pass ordinance number 26-014.
I'll second.
Moved by Peg, seconded by Doris. Take a vote.
Cliff Winiger,
Yes.
Chad Miller,
Yes.
Peg Wren,
Yes.
Doris Bloom,
Yes.
Robin Jones.
Yes.
Sue Fox Broker.
Yes.
Lydia Miller.
Yes.
That passes 7-0. All right, so we have nothing on second read. We have one ordinance left on third read. We'll move into that.
Ordinance number 26-011, an ordinance amending and restating Kenton Codified Ordinance Section 1240.99 relating to the penalties and remedies for violations of the zoning code and declaring an emergency.
All right, so this has been read 3 times. We're all aware of what the ordinance is. We've had discussions about it, so we need to decide if we want to move on.
I'll move we pass ordinance 26-001.
I'll second it. Moved by Doris, seconded by Chad.
Chad Miller,
Yes.
Peg Wren,
Yes.
Doris Bloom,
Yes.
Robin Jones.
Yes.
Sue Fox Broker,
Yes.
Lydia Miller,
Yes.
Cliff Winiger.
Yes.
All right, that passes 7-0. All right, so with all the reads done, do we have any other matters to discuss tonight? Any comments from the public? Go ahead, Brian.
Sorry to step up again. This is different. I come as one of the leaders in Abundant Life Church. We're at 1010 East Franklin Street. This makes the 3rd Sunday in a row where we've had water pressure issues where we can't flush more than, like, in the ladies' wet restroom, 1 toilet at a time. It's causing some issues. I think things are being worked on. I haven't necessarily spoken. I just had a phone call into the water office and left a message and got a call back. But since I was here, I hope you'll forgive me for making mention of it. We have our kids camp that's coming up at the end of July. We have over 200 kids registered. The city's always been great to work with. We thank you so much for that. But I don't know what, we're not being able to flush toilets on a Sunday morning is a problem, and now we're going to be going on a month next week. I don't know that it's necessarily a city problem, but whatever we can do to help out the process, or if we can participate to help figure out where the issue is to get it remedied. But we can't do the camp if we're going to have these water pressure issues. It's a summer camp, but we do have water activities and everything. So whatever it needs to take, and if we can help in any way, please let me know, and we'll do what we can. But I wanted to bring that up since I was here. We need your help, and whatever we can do to help. Thank you.
So I'll comment on that. So we think the problem is a leak on the hospital grounds. So to prove that theory, we've asked the hospital, is there a time when we can shut you down and then like go into Abundant Life and go into Trioni Hair Salon to see if that solved the pressure. So Theron is working with the hospital at 10 o'clock at night is when they said we could shut them down for 10 minutes or so to see if the pressure builds back up. And I know Brent Moore has a key to Abundant Life. He's going to go into Abundant Life, and Theron is working with Sarah from Trioni to open that up to see if that solves the problem. He did not say if it was tonight or not. I'm assuming it's tonight because that's what he made it sound like. But one of these nights, real shortly, we're going to find out whether or not our theory is.
You're already proactive, thank you very much.
All right. Comments from the news media?
Hey, you had
Sorry.
another.
Do what?
Did you want to speak? I thought you raised.
No.
Oh.
Comments from the media, Tim? All right. Comments from council, administration. Sue? Lydia?
I just want to say something about the city. They did cut all the limbs in the alleys. It was Friday, and it was really a very, very nice crew. They were very polite. They told me what they were doing. It was in Ward 2. I don't know if they've done all the alleys and the wards, but they did the one behind Jennings Street.
Cliff?
No, I have none.
I have none.
Good.
Revitalize Canton and Lions Club put on a Kids' Day at what was the old Gordman store parking area Saturday, and yes, right in the middle of the storm. But we still went ahead. What I wanted to say was the KPD was there, as well as the PD and BKP with their rigs to let the kids see them, and the staff was great, and it was a nice thing for them to do, because I know I was intrigued by the fire truck.
Robin?
So this Saturday, the Chamber and Business Alliance is putting on their first summer concert series on the square. So that starts, I think, from 6 to 9. They'll have a food truck and a band. It's a 70s theme. It's free to the public, so everybody wants something to do. Here's your first shot. So,
John?
Did you say 6 o'clock?
yeah, it's from 6 to 9.
6 to 9.
Yes.
John? Lynn? Cindy?
Yeah. So, tennis camp is winding down this week. We had 31 sign up to go to our tennis camp, so it was a really good turnout. I want to thank Michaela Schreiber. She's always willing to do it for us. Longest day of play is coming up June 19th. Yep. Be on the lookout for all the activities all day long for the longest day of play. And this weekend, the youth of the community players is putting on Little Mermaid at the new school performing arts center. So, and I'm sure that'll be terrific too. So, lots of things to do.
It's Friday and Saturday.
All right.
It's Friday and Saturday, so.
I personally would touch on the Layton Street Bridge. It affects me as much as anybody. I use that bridge daily. I would just say it's obviously an inconvenience for the community, but it's at the community's benefit of the safety of everybody. I've been sitting on that bridge waiting on a train, and it rocks and sways and flexes like you would not believe it. It's kind of a sketchy bridge as it is. Obviously, it seems like it's had better days and its life is coming to an end, so to speak, but as far as it being closed, I know with construction, it's another element to it, but the public safety is really foremost on everybody's minds when it comes to decisions like that, so I just wanted to kind of touch on that. If there's nothing else, we are adjourned.